I am Lindsey Preston. I own the Suites and Wolf House. It's a doggy daycare facility and a boarding facility with grooming. And then my husband and I also own a commercial property where one of my businesses is located. And yeah, I'm a female entrepreneur. And Wolf House was completely my concept. I was kind of given the suites in a way. I took it over when my grandma passed away. But since then, I have created a whole separate business on my own. Before I started working with Mindy, I was in the process of opening up my doggy daycare. I'm a one-woman show. I don't have investors or I didn't have any help. It was just me. And I was going through a pretty tough time because I had to get some city permission, and there was a lot of people who did not want the doggy daycare where it was going. And I remember I had reached out to Mindy on Instagram, and I remember I Instagram messaged her just asking for some advice because I had been that day I was going to the city hall meeting to get hopefully approved for this space, and she gave me some really great advice. And after I got approved that night, I decided I really owed it to myself to get some support and some guidance in the business world because, like I said, I was doing this all on my own. And so I was in a pretty scary spot. And right off the bat, starting with Mindy, I got some clarity and, um, it's almost like I describe it like my brain was just a jumbled mess, and she compartmentalized like a lot of things for me right off the bat in the beginning. Before I started working with Mindy, I don't even know if I had a true definition of success or what I even really wanted it to look like. I was just so in the thick of everything that I didn't have a clear view of success. Now, success is honestly having my business run itself for me. I guess I never even really imagined that something like that would happen. It's allowing me to, uh, you know, I, I'm in the process of possibly opening up a third location, and it seems seamless. So to me, success is being able to sit back and be like proud of what I've done and letting the business just grow on its own and succeed on its own. When Wendy and I first started working together, one of my worst habits and patterns was I had bills to pay, I was not paying myself, and I was just totally pushing things off. And I look back now, and that was just me being in a state of fight or flight almost. And it's like I didn't want to pay bills. I wasn't opening up my business or my personal bank account. So I guess my bad patterns were just not recognizing like where I was and fully accepting that, because you can't move forward if you're not fixing who you are at your base level. So I guess those patterns have been fixed, and we did a lot of loop work. So before Mindy, I had no idea that, even the littlest mundane things will just sit in your mind and circle until you get it done. So I love closing loops, and I'm that person where even if I have already done it after creating my to-do list for the day, I will still add it to my to-do list so I can cross it off. She's very caring, and even just having the Voxer access with our work together, it just makes you feel much closer to her, and it doesn't seem as like transactional as some other things can. Um, I do love that there's a spiritual side, and we've done everything from tarot card readings to she's helped me come up with how to sage my house properly, and I also love that. We pull cards together. So in all, it's like she's there for you on so many different levels. It's not just business only, and that's it. I mean, she's helped me grieve the death of my mom. I have some personal things going on with a family member, so it's everything in one. It's not just helping you get through one little thing in your life or one hiccup in your business. Just within this year, I've noticed a huge shift in myself. So, obviously, working with anyone, it's not going to be an overnight process because I have changed in so many ways with even the relationship with my husband. Our communication level has improved just because I'm aware, way more aware. My confidence level, I always felt like some of the people I was surrounded with being a business owner, they're 55, 60 years old and they've been doing this for forever. And I always felt like my success now doesn't add up to theirs. And I don't know. I honestly don't know if it's just how long I've been working with Mindy and just the subtle changes, but I feel more confident. And I do feel financial freedom from all of the hard work that we've done because it's leaked into my personal life and all of the little habits that we've created. I just feel like have totally pushed me forward for the better in so many different ways. I guess with my confidence that I've gained, I am showing up differently in my business just by, being more of a leader and being cognizant of how I'm leading my teams. And then also in my personal life, I'm showing up different because I'm more confident. Um, my anxiety isn't gone. I will always have a little bit of some, but it's diminished a lot because I'm just more confident in so many different ways. Some of these practices that we've worked on have bled into my marriage. And although my husband at first thought that some of the practices and the 24 karat outcome things were a little silly, he's like a typical man. We quickly realized that, speaking about our goals and thinking about our dreams out loud and all the things, our bank account is bigger than it ever has been. Um, my business revenue has doubled. Anything that we want, it sounds unimaginable, but it really does find its way to us. And I really dedicate that to just the consciousness of, going for what you want. And if you want something, it'll find its way to you some way or another. Vacations, I remember prior to working with Mindy, I think I took her first 24 karat outcomes course, and it was wanting to travel more. And I have taken more vacations in the last 2 years than I have in my entire life. And that is something that when I was working with Mindy, I was like, okay, like there's no way this can happen. And it's happening. I remember prior to working with Mindy, I was imagining being able to clean my house on a Tuesday morning, not because I wasn't at work. And I was like, that will never happen. I'm always at work. And now this morning it's Tuesday and I cleaned my house this morning. And my girls at work are handling things on their own because I'm empowering them to handle the small mundane things instead of crawling to me for help. But I guess, yeah, all of that. The biggest thing after working with Mindy would be the ability to not be at work 24/7. Now, as a business owner, I'm always working. I have softwares that I'm constantly checking, but I'm doing it from home, and that felt something out of this world that would never be able to happen, and it's happening. Being able to take these vacations, my husband and I were like, there's no way. We both work so much. At the time prior to working with Mindy, we really were living paycheck to paycheck. And at this point, we are able to take vacations whenever we'd want, and that's something we never thought we'd be able to do. I would say do it. I We have weekly laser calls, and I look forward to them each week. There are some times where I hop on and I'm like, I don't even know what I have to talk about. And 2 seconds later, we're deep diving into about how I'm stuck in my workout routine, or, something is failing in leadership at one of my businesses and whatever. So there's always something to talk about or work through. And 90% of the time, we come out on the other side and I am excited to make a change or create a new habit, or new ideas that spark from our conversations with Mindy. But I would say absolutely start. She is so cool. She is there for me in any aspect of my life. It's not just business, it's not just health, it's everything she can possibly help you with. But I would say do it and don't wait.